was very important.
Alright, now we are live. So, which one are we starting with tonight? I mean,
I don't know. I look into topics, and the first thing I see is Patrick. So,
I mean, Patrick.
I don't know. The first thing I see when I look at pet topics is just wide-mouthed Patrick or open-mouthed Patrick.
The SpongeBob movie. I remember that.
Yes, but I don't know. That's just the first thing I see. Do you have any topics you want to start off with?
We can start off with any.
Is Gage alive?
Geg is dead, probably.
What do you want from me?
First of all, are you alive? I think that is a no.
I guess
I'm
dead.
practicing the art of multitasking.
You're failing miserably.
Playing Genshin.
Oh no, I'm not playing Genshin.
Then what game?
I'm playing a much more cult game.
Cult?
Where if it's Dokkan battle.
No, it's not. I'm not playing a mobile game.
Jesus Christ.
Wait. I can do this.
No, you can't.
When I learned in voting school.
SpongeBob and Patrick the movie. It's the movie game.
Oh my god, no way.
How did you know I was in my room while she was trying to sleep playing the Wii?
Because I keep getting Krabby Patties shot through my window with games of yours stuck in them.
I knew I shouldn't have sent the hitman.
Well, okay, the hitman's fine, but why does he have your games?
Why not?
I don't know.
Why is he using them? And why is he
sold them as
combining those
payment.
Krabby Patties? Well, I guess thanks for the free games and free food.
I mean, they do taste pretty
When
good.
did food get involved?
Krabby Patties.
You see, he
Those
took
don't
your...
exist.
And what am I being shot with?
Bullets.
McDonald's burgers.
He just went to the nearest.
No way you're being shot with the knockoff Krabby Patty gummies.
He just loaded those up in a gun, started shooting them through my window at maximum velocity.
Yes.
Ah, yes. More Krabby Patty bullets. It's like those prop launchers in Gary's mod.
Yes. Repulsion gun.
Yeah, it's like where they're useless until you get them in the repulsion gun, then they just turn into high-speed bullets.
Yes.
We were supposed to come up with a topic, right?
We already came up with topics in the topic chat.
I know, but which one?
Maybe if you'd have been here earlier, you would have heard Sylvia recite them.
I'm not saying what they are, I'm saying which one are we starting off with, you complete imbecile!
Your mom.
Damn, you got me, bro.
Victory.
I got that epic victory royale.
Complete and utter
100 wholesome moment.
Just a complete and utter domination.
Absolute destruction.
Oh god.
Absolutely.
Get dominated, hippie.
Yes. Okay, wait a minute. How about
take your ass back to Russia?
Well, how about I'm interested in what Brad has to say about Patrick's life looking like his daily life, like what he does.
Alright, I came up with that topic.
Well, you see, as Patrick Star himself.
Well, I mean, I probably have more to say if I watched SpongeBob more recently. It's been a while since I watched any, but I don't know. He does a lot of crazy. Because, well, you know how he always does crazy stuff when he's around SpongeBob?
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to know if, like, when he's on his own and if he's not the center of attention with SpongeBob, is his life just as crazy? Is he going on his own adventures, or is he just passed out all day eating ice cream?
Probably the last option. I mean,
So he's a sloth, not a starfish.
yes.
But then what? So whenever he's a sloth, but whenever he meets up with SpongeBob, he just goes Super Saiyan sloth mode.
Yes.
Yes. He just
He
aggressively
powers
eats
up
ice
beyond
cream
our
faster.
comprehension.
His brain power goes up a solid 2 brain cells.
No, he gets to, you know how like how he gets to the point where like he does a whole Kirby thing, like where he just inhales it and all of his mouth becomes a vacuum.
Whenever he meets up with SpongeBob, he goes Kirby mode and gains 2 brain cells.
Yes.
No, that's the first couple of seasons, Patrick. Like first couple of seasons, Patrick, he was legitimately like he
was smart.
Yes, he was smart sometimes, and now he's
He
just.
was competent.
He actually had a few
And
brain
now,
cells.
now you're gone.
I mean, I haven't
Wow,
watched.
Yeah, he wasn't. He was still dumb, but he wasn't. He wasn't like just you have 0. How do you?
He
even
wasn't R word.
exist? He wasn't. How are you still alive mode yet?
Yeah, I don't.
Well, I mean, starfish can regenerate limbs, so it doesn't really matter.
Patrick
is
goes.
true.
They could do a whole episode of Patrick getting chopped to bits, and he would genetically
That would be
still be alive.
horrifying for.
Imagine how effective.
No, they did that
starfish
joke with the
starfish-
chopping arm episode, where he chopped his own arm
Yeah.
off and it grew
Oh yeah,
back.
that's right. He got decoyed.
Imagine how effective starfish would be like Patrick in war.
An infinitely regenerating soldier
The
who
Bikini Bottom
was
War.
able to
Yeah,
an
it's
entire
like-
wait a minute.
duplicate of
It's
himself.
like they're gunning the enemies down, but they can't get gunned down back because they just regenerate so fast.
Wait a minute. Wasn't there a Bikini Bottom War that Mr.
Oh,
Krabs
they
was a
can't
part
hold
of?
the guns, that's a problem.
Wait a minute. Wasn't there like some
Since when
war?
was there a Bikini Bottom War?
Yeah, there
In
wasn't.
the most recent SpongeBob movie or the one before it?
I don't know.
I think. Remember the
The
apocalypse?
most recent SpongeBob movie is Sponge on the Run.
No, I'm talking
No,
about.
I meant
Which
the one
fun
before.
fact? Fun fact. Sponge on the Run is available in Netflix everywhere except for the United States.
Of course
That's
it is, just like
hilarious.
Avatar was a while ago. Just like Avatar was a while ago,
Yes,
because for whatever
the
reason,
country where SpongeBob was created doesn't get its own movie.
just like Avatar,
Wait,
because
so
for
was it
whatever
created in
reason,
America?
because for whatever
Yeah.
reason, Netflix.
Sponge on the Run is available on Netflix in every country except America.
So wait,
It was the same situation. Wait, it was the same situation for Avatar. Netflix had it available in every country except America, where
I
it
don't
was
understand
made.
why.
I don't
like-
understand. For some reason, Netflix can secure the rights for a movie or show in every country except America. For
I don't know. They're
whatever
never really
reason.
open about like what
And then
happens.
Hulu gets it like 45 years later.
Like,
America's just like,
Or
no, you
Netflix
have
will
to
get it
buy
like
the
after its
DVD.
time is done.
Because America's like, no, you have to pay money for the DVD.
yeah, I mean, like I'm pretty sure like isn't there like animes that like for some reason only certain seasons come out on Netflix, like and then like the rest of them exist but they're only in different
I
countries.
don't know the anime situation with Netflix.
I don't know either. I mean,
Anime on Netflix just fucking sucks.
I mean,
Not
it's
all of it sucks.
the only
but most
reason
of it
I would watch
sucks.
anime on Netflix is because it looks good. It just looks good. Like I like the quality of it, and that's about it. And no advertisements, so I don't have to watch that.
And also, what wasn't the war one the apocalypse? The one where in the movie where they turned into an apocalypse because I don't remember why didn't they run out of Krabby Patties or something?
I think so, yeah. They ran out of Krabby Patties.
Oh yeah, like
That
they
was-
ran out of Krabby
like,
Patties or
wasn't
something.
That
Swan
was
like
a superhero movie.
what did I forgot what did happen to Patrick then? I don't remember what happened to him once the apocalypse started.
He started banging his head against his own home, calling it anarchy.
Yeah, doesn't
Oh right,
he
he
became
just for the
What
solid
are you doing? Vandalism? Patrick, that's your house.
for the solid 12 hours there was an apocalypse. All he did was bang his head relentlessly against
that movie
the
has
rock.
some good moments.
Patrick, what are you doing? Vandalizing stuff? That's your house.
I like the 2D animation. I always like the 2D animation in that movie looked good and it looked expressive. But as soon as they got to the 3D animation, I was like, ugh. Like,
Oh God!
Well, the problem
it
was
just doesn't work.
the problem for a lot of the problem for a lot of people that movie was the main appeal was the 3D. Like we're not going to discuss. I'm not discussing whether the 3D part was good or not.
Right.
But the main reason why people went to see it was for the 3D part. But the problem was like 3/4 of the movie was underwater, and then the last quarter was above water. And so people were like, "Well, but why?"
It is true. I mean, I remember that it was very brief, the 3D animation. I mean, I'm guessing it was expensive.
Well, yeah, I'm guessing it was expensive and hard to make. But the problem is, if that's they kind of made that their main selling point, but there was only 3D for 20 minutes, and the rest of the movie was underwater. It's like, I'm not complaining because I really enjoyed the underwater parts, but the problem was the main sell of the movie, you barely have any of it.
It was pretty
It's
ironic.
only at the tail end of the movie.
Yeah.
And the end of the movie also ended underwater. You just had this 20 minutes of above water towards the end of the movie, and that was it.
It was pretty ironic considering the 3D animation parts of the movie weren't even that good in my opinion. They were pretty bad in a lot of aspects. The 3D animation itself, it was good. It looked good, but it wasn't the most enjoyable parts of the movie. It was just, it looked weird. I didn't really enjoy the idea of it. And I don't what was the idea? I don't remember. It was
what idea? What are we talking about?
Magic book, magic page.
book. Yeah, they
grants you whatever you want, and some pirate from
the magic book. It's right in here, and it'll happen.
It would have looked better.
Remember
if it was
the dolphin rap?
I would have really liked it if it was better in 2D, like how they did in the SpongeBob movie.
It was confusing because the 3D was the main selling point. I enjoyed the 2D part a lot more, and so that made it kind of weird because I don't know.
The 2D was most of the movie, so
Well, yeah, that's the thing that makes it like a weird situation where it's the main selling point was the 3D, but there was almost none of that. But on the other hand, I enjoyed the 2D a lot more than the 3D, and so it's I don't know what to think of this. Is this win or not?
The most memorable parts from the movie were all from the 2D perspectives that I remember. I just remember all the 2D stuff,
the apocalypse part was a blast.
That was hilarious. That was great. I loved that part, and I loved the part where they had Patrick as the bodyguard or whatever, and Plankton was trying to get a key or something. I don't remember completely, but I just remember it. Just the animation looked good, and it was funny. It was good. And then, of course, the one trailer scene where it's unless it's the apocalypse, and then Mr. Krabs instantly changes to apocalypse and kinky stuff. I don't know.
I like how Mr. Krabs' apocalypse gear is just full leather or whatever it was.
BDSM gear, biker gang.
And I like how the people at Bikini Bottom were ready for apocalypse mode. The moment the apocalypse started, they were all dressed appropriately. They even had the Bikini Bottom prepared. It's they just hit. It's like they had just had a button for when the apocalypse started for whatever reason. The moment they clicked it, all of them immediately get in gear, and immediately half the Bikini Bottom was hit by bombs.
Oh yeah, that's a joke. It's funny. Laugh.
I'll pass.
Damn, I see how it is.
Yep, I'm sorry, just not funny. Didn't laugh.
God damn it.
Not laughing. Didn't laugh funny.
You good?
When the DK code starts getting corrupted.
Didn't laugh funny.
Oh god, DK's getting corrupted. Somebody stop him.
It's too late.
SpongeBob has become
so much. Also, we talked about the fact Sponge on the Run is just them capitalizing on the Gary running away episode.
I have not.
Oh yeah, the entire movie.
The entire plot is literally just the one episode.
The entire plot is Gary running away. The episode, except it's a lot longer and it has better animation.
Really?
That's it.
Huh.
Yeah, it was shown in the trailer. The entire plot for Sponge on the Run is Gary ran away, which they already made an episode that's very memorable. This is basically just Sponge on the Run is basically just they remade an episode they had already made, except they made it a lot longer. They made it movie length and they gave it better animation.
I'm looking at the trailer. and like I feel like the Steven Hillenburg would not have approved of this at all because it
Really
goes.
did, because they didn't even try to make up a new story. They just ripped off their own content.
No, it's because I'm pretty sure that like they didn't.
Am I really gonna defile this grave for my own greed? Of course I am!
I mean, not gonna lie, the animation and art looks amazing. I love the art style and what they did.
Well, yeah, I have no complaints about the animation and all that stuff. I have no complaints about the fact that they made another SpongeBob movie. I'll always think more
stop motion like
My
the
problem
Christmas
was-
special again.
My problem is they didn't even try to make up a new story. It's like at least the other movies made a new story. They didn't even try.
I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So-
I mean,
we can
They
all
weren't even-
agree the
it's like-
first SpongeBob movie is the best SpongeBob movie because that's canonically
definitely.
the end of
Because that's
SpongeBob.
canonically the end of the end of the SpongeBob
But
series.
I do think that Out of Water. I do think the Out of Water one, ignoring the 3D parts, was very good. I really
Yeah,
enjoyed
Out of
the
Water
parts.
was pretty good. Aside
I
from
agree.
some select things.
Well, yeah. Besides some select things, I really did enjoy Out of Water. But it's like for Sponge on the Run, it's not even that they didn't bother creating a new story. It's the fact that they ripped off their own content.
I
They
can
couldn't
see
even rip off
exactly.
somebody else. They couldn't even rip somebody else's content off. They just resorted to ripping off their own content.
Okay, I can see where
Yes,
this.
we'll just do this, but again.
Okay, I looked at the trailer and I remembered. Oh yeah, this trailer came out a while ago. But now I'm remembering that like I feel like I know exactly what this movie is going to be like, and I hate the structure of any type of writing or any type of movie or any type of form of medium. And I hate it's the trip, like the whole road trip part, with the only excuse of the road trip being this main objective, and the main objective not being mentioned for most of the movie. And I feel like that's what's going to happen with this movie.
Well,
Just
I mean, that's not always a bad thing. Sometimes they can make
Well,
it.
yeah, like in the original SpongeBob movie, that was a road trip, but it worked.
It's like
it worked. But
it's
like,
it's like it's a you.
They
It's
had
like-
like,
interesting
reminded you
stops
what the
along
main
the way,
story
like the one
often,
biker
but
getting
it's like-
close.
but it's like if they use it right, it works. Like if it's a good story, it obviously works. It's like you can use the main structure millions of times, but the story's good. Nobody cares if you reuse the structure.
yeah,
Yeah, but like if you just rehash the exact same thing over again, no one's gonna care.
I mean,
they're just
yeah,
gonna
this
go
is just
watch
the
the original
SpongeBob movie
episode.
mixed with the Gary Come Homes episode. Just put them together.
You
There
couldn't
you go.
even like they didn't even bother saying like, oh,
Like, Gary Come Home is one of the most emotional kids songs ever made.
they didn't even bother like. I don't
All you
care
have to do is listen to it and you'll get choked up.
It's like they didn't even try. Like they could have said Mr. Krabs got lost in Nam and they went to chase him down, but instead they're chasing Gary because he got lost.
Finding crabs. It's just Finding Dory, but that would actually be an awesome one where like all of
What if they did a
where like all the
retelling?
citizens of Bikini Bottom are are captured by like humans to put like in like a big aquarium exhibit and only like SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward are left.
But it's like, but that's what I mean. They still could have used
SpongeBob and Patrick for the comedic duo, and Squidward is the voice of reason.
But that's what I mean. They still could have reused like the same structure of they're going on an adventure to get something, and it would have worked. Like if they did that, like they could have gotten all the fish. Like they could have tried rescuing the fish from fishermen, or crabs got lost in
Like
Vietnam
anyone could
again.
have
I
fit into
don't care.
Squidward's spot. Like Squidward could have been captured, and you could have replaced it with Plankton to make a distrusting
no-
relationship.
But
Hell,
no, it's like
you could have used Larry the Lobster. Make
I
him
know, but-
useful. Make him a major character.
yeah, but instead they're just like, hey, remember that episode where Gary?
Wait.
What if we do it
SpongeBob,
again?
Patrick, and the My Leg Guy.
But like,
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And they like have a callback to that episode where like something stinks and he just and he leaves.
All I want is a SpongeBob episode or movie where they just make as many SpongeBob references as possible.
that would just become.
There's an episode entirely dedicated to SpongeBob protecting the legs of the My Leg Guy.
I know.
I
but
don't
it's just
remember
like-
that.
New
I didn't
SpongeBob
watch
does
it
have some
properly.
golden moments.
I just want them to take all the references they've ever made and that are like everybody knows and put that into an episode or a movie. That would be the best thing they could do.
No, they would rather just mark it off it with toys.
I that's what I'm saying. I wish they would do that, but they won't because am I really going to defile this grave for money?
I mean,
of course
okay,
I am.
I would like something
Of course I am. Rapid digging noises.
I would like a movie talking about the past of Mr. Krabs, because Mr. Krabs seems like he has such an interesting history behind him, and we know literally nothing about him.
All I know,
you see SpongeBob back in the Great Fish Civil War.
Yeah, he sounds like
my basic grasp of Mr. Krabs' lore is he grew up with plankton. I'm pretty sure he decided he
went to war.
He got interested in the food business as a kid or a teenager and found a successful recipe. But then somewhere along the line, he decided to go to Nam and fight in a war. Then he got depression or something, and then he went back to the Bikini Bottom and was like, "Oh hey, I'm good." You know that recipe I thought of 50 years ago? Yeah, I'm gonna make a restaurant based out of it.
Remember the Krusty Krab training video, that episode? Because I'm pretty sure that gave the most backstory on Mr. Krabs that we've ever gotten. And it was just first of all, the Krusty Krab was a senior home. And it was
some one-off SpongeBob episode from season 1. We got the entire Krabby Patty recipe.
And there was one scene. It was named the Rusty Crab or something, and it was
the Rusty Crab. What?
Yes, that's
Excuse me?
Okay, there's a clip that shows in that episode of the training video of Mr. Krabs. It shows him turning the senior home into the Krusty Krab, and it shows him only painting on just a K at the end. That's all he did. So it was originally named the Rusty Crab.
I know that. I thought we were talking about the
Krusty Krab.
I thought we were talking about the Krabby Patty recipe.
Yo, Rusty Crab is actually a good retirement home name.
Exactly, and that's why it was named that.
That's why it was a retirement home.
I don't know. Wait a minute.
It was the Rusty Crabs. Crabs you can't do a job anymore.
Retirement home, but now it's the Krusty Krab, and they sell heart attack burgers.
I don't know. I think
Even though there's already a retirement home in SpongeBob.
I think it was
It's probably because they needed to make a new one once Mr. Krabs was like, get out!
I think, no, what happened is that Mr. Krabs, he did the whole depression thing, and then he turned the senior's home into the Krusty Krab, and that's just I think that's what happened.
Dude, if Mr. Krabs actually has, some form of depression, imagine that episode where he sells SpongeBob to Plankton.
Oh.
Imagine how much of a toll that actually took on his mental state.
Oof. I mean, that's
the dark. He has a mental break. Oh, that's why he was imagining him as a clown. He was having a mental breakdown.
Oh my god.
Without you. Legit, SpongeBob has some... For the few songs SpongeBob has, they're fucking bops.
They are.
They know what to do.
Because you got Gary Come Home, Best Day Ever.
Patrick.
You got the
Yeah, is there any songs where Patrick
got the parody of
I'm pretty sure there is, but I don't know if it's major.
Rock and Twisted Sisters in the SpongeBob movie. Now that we're men.
Gage.
What?
If you remember so much, is there a song where Patrick is the lead singer?
I think so. I'll look it up, but I'm gonna. But if I start to play it, I'll mute my mic. That way we don't get fucking DMCA.
Yeah, we don't want to get DMCA, please. Thank you.
Not like we have any followers.
I mean, we have one person watching us. I mean, it might be me, might not be.
Actually, we have 2. So we have even if you are one of the people.
Oh my god! I wrote this song.
It's the what song?
Oh, that song!
It's the song that Patrick himself wrote about his life.
I remember that one. It's the one that made everybody want to die.
Which one was it?
Yeah, the one that made everyone fucking suicide. Yo, the road song. Dude, the campfire song.
Oh.
But he wasn't the lead singer.
He wasn't the lead singer. That was SpongeBob.
I know, but I mean, I'm just looking at the songs.
I mean, it was a duet, so I guess you could count it. But
yeah.
Oh yeah, there was the road song, but would he even consider that? Because he wasn't really the main singer; he was just back vocals.
I wrote this song. That was the one where he made everybody's ears bleed and want to die.
Yeah, because it was playing over the radio.
Yeah, it was playing over the radio tower, and cars started crashing everywhere.
Oh my god! Don't forget. How have we neglected to mention Sweet Victory?
But he didn't. Well, we were talking about Patrick.
I mean, as SpongeBob music as a whole, back when we were talking about it as a whole.
You weren't. You were. You were the one listing them all.
I know, but it's like, how did we forget this? You guys could have chimed in.
Because I wasn't thinking about it. My brain was focused on Patrick songs.
I mean,
bro, all we have left is that I wrote this song for Patrick.
Patrick is the best character, and you can't change my mind about that.
remember that medieval episode or whatever that they had?
Of course I am. Would a dumb fish ever do this?
Remember
He has a bunch of hooks in his mouth.
Remember the medieval episode that they had?
Yeah, what about it?
I don't know. I just remember.
Holy shit, the fishing episode is an homage to overfishing.
Of course it
Oh, right. Oh, I didn't.
Is this what Billy does to you?
Yes.
Now I want to watch SpongeBob again.
Yeah, no.
Go through every single...
Look,
Oh, you're
SpongeBob
a
is a
SpongeBob
timeless
fan?
thing.
Name every single episode ever.
Look, SpongeBob
No.
is a timeless show, and you can't argue that.
Oh yeah, SpongeBob
Yeah.
is a very timeless show. I mean, until you get the like, there's this, I don't know where it is, but like, there's a sore spot
Well,
in the
yeah,
seasons.
Okay, let me rephrase that.
As
The
soon as
first
Steven
seasons of
Hillenberg went,
SpongeBob are
that's when it
timeless.
started to make a real decline.
Let me rephrase my statement. Like, the first 4 seasons of SpongeBob are timeless.
It's weird to
As
think
soon
that.
as Hillenberg went, it all went downhill.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's it was one of the writers or whatever, and then I'm pretty sure they came back or whatever briefly, and then like I heard, I don't know, I didn't watch those seasons. I heard that the other seasons were not bad. And
Oh god, I'm remembering trauma SpongeBob gave me. Fuck.
Well, from what I heard, at least from people, it's like the first 4 seasons were like pure TV gold. The next couple seasons, like the next 2 or 3.
Bro, the episode where
good.
Mr. Krabs bans SpongeBob from doing karate and he's like always watching him.
Oh, yeah.
Right. The next like 2 or 3 seasons after that were like, I'm pretty sure from what I remember they were good, but they weren't as good. The next few were pretty bad, but then they brought the original writers back and it started to get good again. It still wasn't as amazing, but it started to look like its former self somewhat, and that's where we are now, I think.
I haven't watched any. I mean,
That's
like,
what I think that's how it went. I think like it was the first 4 seasons were gold. Next couple were really good, but not amazing. The next few were pretty bad, and then they brought, because I think they fired the original writers or they left or something. But then they brought them back, and that's where we are now, because like the last couple seasons, I believe they brought back the original writers where it's good again.
and also
It's
the
just not
animation.
amazing.
The animation looks pretty good. I've heard, like, I've seen clips of it, and I'm like, this actually looks like great animation. Like, it seems expressive.
Is it
Like,
weird that I like it? Is it weird that I like the old animation better?
oh no, not at all. The old
Well, that's
animation.
completely valid. I really like the animation of old shows because nothing will ever be like it again.
I feel the art style.
There will never be anything else that looks like
I don't
it.
know if it's nostalgia or whatever, but I just like the original animation of SpongeBob.
I think it's
better.
the art style that really like is what I preferred about the older episodes. Like, I feel like the older ones were. I just remember this because I
They
remember
also
this.
just had better comedy.
It had better comedy. It reminds me of just better overall like stories, usually like memorable stories, and like probably why I have a preference to that art style. I mean, like it.
Yeah, it's like not like you can make an argument about art style, but it's like it had, in my opinion, it had better. The first few seasons had better comedy. It had better story, and like it would have more memorable stuff than like the first 4 seasons had the more memorable things than all the other seasons combined.
Oh yeah,
Bro, the King Jellyfish episode.
Oh yes. Or
Is it clear? Maybe.
Oh, did you see? Wait. You just reminded me of something. Did you see Uncle Al's newest video?
No, I did not see Uncle Al's newest video yet.
Oh wait, let me find. Wait, don't.
What are we talking about?
I can't watch.
Give me
it
a second. Well,
Penguin's newest video, or?
Wait, let me find it.
What are we talking about?
Uncle Al's newest video.
Oh, you mean the Starfish for President?
Yeah, I'm putting.
No, I didn't watch it because I didn't want to see a political Uncle Al, even if it is a joke.
Yeah, fair enough.
Pretty funny though.
I might watch it in spare time, but
Oh,
like,
but I'll post it in chat if you want it, if you want to watch it. Although in advance, skip to the 2-minute and 30-second mark.
oh wow, suddenly 2 people joined.
But that's there if you want to watch it. But in advance, skip to the 2 minutes and 30-second mark.
I mean, I might check it out, but like, there was like when I think about art styles or whatever, I usually I feel like the computer. I know that later on that they went from cell animation where they like put layers on top. They paint a layer, then you put it in. It's such a crazy process, and I respect anybody who did that because that's insane. And like now they're using now they're using digital drawing or whatever, which honestly, it has its peaks and it has its lows. Like it looks cleaner, but it doesn't feel right.
I was like, the recent SpongeBob animation, it looks better, but it doesn't feel better.
Yeah. Like I feel okay.
It's like how I felt about I'm sorry to go a little bit. I'm off topic, but it's what I thought with the Candace versus the Universe Phineas and Ferb special on Disney Plus. Like the animation is mostly the same, but it's just different enough to where like longtime viewers like me will notice and be like perturbed by the difference.
Don't make me want to start watching another old show.
But like,
and also we get a lot more forward-facing Phineas and.
Oh no!
But like,
it's literally in the thumbnail for the movie, a forward-facing Phineas.
God! But like,
and I'm just like. Ugh.
But like, I think the cell shaded animation for SpongeBob looked genuinely better. Also because the paintings are the background. In cell shaded animation with painted backgrounds, infinitely looks better than digital characters on top of a painted background. It doesn't look right. They don't mix. Like.
These two art forms do not mix.
Well, it's not art forms. It's the two art styles that really just don't fit well together, in my opinion. And I mean, to be honest, like I wouldn't really want them to change a painting because the painting's so iconic in SpongeBob that I remember. You remember all these like still frames of all these, like you probably can remember the Krusty Krab still frame off the top of your head. Because it's so iconic,
and you can hear the music in your head right now.
Yes, and you can't really sacrifice that, even if you wanted to make the art style look genuinely better. And I feel like there is ways to replicate an old cell shaded animation style in digital.
SpongeBob has reached a point where it's too big to fail.
It is. It's definitely reached that point, and that's the same thing with Pokemon. Like Pokemon hasn't the games suck. Now, like,
the games absolutely suck.
But people are still buying
millions off of them because of the nostalgia and the little kids who want to get into the craze.
Exactly.
What game?
I'm talking about Pokemon right now and how
Pokemon. We're talking about how
Pokemon and SpongeBob have both reached the point where they're too big to fail.
Please don't get me started on Pokemon, I beg you.
We can start on Pokemon because I'm pretty sure.
I don't want to start on Pokemon. Oh, okay, here's the entire conversation. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. That's the conversation.
Fair enough.
Fuck you, X and Y were the last good games.
X and Y were the last good games.
Has a valid opinion.
Well, I agree with you of new games, but I really enjoyed Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire just because of nostalgia of
That's
Gen
fair.
3.
Yeah, I think they should stick with remakes for a couple years.
Yeah. If we're I can agree. Eevee and Pikachu, I hate that game with a burning passion.
I never played that.
Or actually give people time to have fun with the new mechanics you introduce.
Oh yeah,
you can't just introduce megas and then throw them away like that because their games did bad.
Yeah.
I also like how for Pikachu and Eevee, I'm glad they did this, but it's like they introduced this whole new form of catching. They're like, yeah, that's gone now. I'm glad they did it, but still.
Well, it's just because of the tie-in with Pokemon Go.
Like, I don't know even why they even bothered making this whole new form of catching if they're just going to use it for one game, which I'm glad they did, but I wish they just never did it in the first place.
That's fair.
It's just because of the tie-in with Pokemon Go.
Yeah, I mean... I don't know.
I can agree that besides Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, all the ones after X and Y were complete and utter garbage.
I feel like after X and Y, Pokemon stopped making dangerous leaps because the leap from 2D to 3D was a big leap, and then after that, it was just like, what are we gonna do now? I mean, sure, you got wild areas, but they play like a 3DS version. They look like a 3DS game. Like they don't look like they're taking any big leaps.
They never made the jump.
Well,
Yeah, they
here's
never
what-
made a big jump, and like the megas
Here's-
were also a big jump.
Can I just say what my argument is?
Mhm.
Sure.
I think Black and White were the last good Pokemon games because up to that point, I don't remember, but they had like a good enough story. They had the main writer, but
Because the writer left after Black and White too.
well, that's because I think he was really sick, but the main writer left after Black and White 2, and I think that's where it dipped because my argument is X and Y isn't a good game. The only reason people think it's good is because the Pokemon Company, Game Freak, took all the good ideas that were in the bunker and shoved them into that game. Because of course people are gonna buy a Pokemon game that has new evolutions for old Pokemon. It's like, what else? And like 3D. It's like, of course people are gonna buy it, but it's like they didn't try to like make anything good, like a good story or good Pokemon or anything like that. All they did was take the ideas they hadn't done yet that were guaranteed to sell games and put them into X and Y.
I would argue that I enjoyed.
Honestly, one of the only reasons to go back to Pokemon now are nostalgia and the music.
Well, yeah, the
Much
only
like
reason
Sonic.
I ever play a Pokemon game anymore is because I'm very bored and I'm like, Black and White was a pretty good game. I'm gonna play that, but I would rather burn.
Yeah, like the music in Sonic and Pokemon games have always been bangers.
But I gotta say that the only
But
reason
the games for Sonic have been pretty mediocre recently, with the exception of Sonic
Wait,
Mania.
in my
And
opinion,
Pokemon games have just been on a gradual decline.
Can I say
Well, yeah,
something in
my-
defense of X and Y? I didn't mean I understand Red's like point of view on it because I agree completely. But I just want to say one thing that what I enjoyed personally about like the X and Y.
I'm willing to hear it out. Sell me on it.
Okay, well, I'm probably not going to sell you on it, but I'm just going to express
No,
what I
not,
liked
but
about it.
try.
But like what I liked about X and Y was probably the 3D jump was a lot for the game. Just at the time it seemed like a big jump and it looked cool. Like right now I couldn't go back and play X and Y. I would not really want to do that. But at the time
I still definitely could.
I said that.
Although I'll save it for after you're done pitching your argument.
But like X and Y also had the good soundtrack, of course, like you guys said. And then there is also like just I don't know what it is, but like
New City.
yes.
Well, I want to put an argument real quick. In my opinion, I'm not saying all people, but the majority of people play Pokemon, at least from my point of view. I could be completely wrong about this, and I'm fine with that. But from what my understanding is, not that many people play Pokemon really care about the soundtrack.
I think Pokemon X and Y or whatever, I think it was a good introduction to the series. But then
but it's like the problem that like it goes with the problem I said. They threw all their good ideas left into X and Y that they knew was gonna do well, but then after that they just ran out of ideas. They're like they had like a safe.
No, bro, they were like, okay, let's do the exact same thing,
yeah.
but in Sapphire and Ruby.
No, but it's like after like the main writer left in Black and White, they had no idea what they were doing. So for X and Y, what they did is they took the safe that they kept buried that was full of the ideas they knew what would sell of new Pokemon game, like 3D and Mega Evolutions. They knew that would sell. People knew it would sell, and so they shoved all those to X and Y. People bought it. Of course they did. It was a good game, but not because anything was super high quality.
And of course,
like
they gave
previous
Charizard
games.
2 Mega Evolutions.
But like
Of course, it sold games. But it's like it wasn't because everything was like super high quality, as opposed or not. It wasn't as good. None of the stuff was. The ideas were good, but none of it was. But like Pokemon, like the story, none of it was as good as previous games. And then after X and Y, they're like, okay, we used up all our good ideas. Now what?
I feel like Pokemon games could use a change in combat. Like they could use something that just spices it up.
It's like I enjoy Pokemon combat, but after playing after playing through 8 games of the same combat, it's like I'm bored.
Like, if you look at, okay, I'm going to use Persona as an example, and definitely because of bias, but like, because of Persona, if you go back and play Persona 3 or 4, then you go play Persona 5, you could definitely tell there's a huge gameplay difference in the combat for many reasons. One, like, you have all these stylistic different choices. You also have more differences, like in Persona 5, you could use the gun finally, which is completely different from all the other games or whatever. And just, it evolved. It actually evolved and looked different. And meanwhile, Pokemon X and Y, its battle mechanics have been here and have stood there forever.
Here's what I will say about Pokemon. It had even though it was a simple battle system, it was a very good battle system, and that's why it stood up for so long. It's like, I don't care who you are, but after you're gonna get to a certain point where you're just like, this game play isn't fun anymore. I've been doing the same thing for hundreds of hours. It's just
we need more depth into the gameplay. We just need more depth.
Good, Gage?
What is wrong with Gage?
Laughs in 400 hours in Persona 5.
I mean, if the game needs more in-depth combat.
I know you're talking about Pokemon, but like,
right. I don't know.
Hear me out.
Pokemon is easy to understand. You'll get bored of the combat.
Persona hasn't been like 20 years or whatever of the same combat. It's just.
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Persona hasn't been using the same combat system for 20 years.
Like, Persona, like, they definitely did an amazing thing, and I really wish that, like, Pokemon would at least, hell, I don't care if they even copy off it, just do something different, please. Like, it would be really fun to, like,
Scramble such a blessing.
Like, why don't we have, like, maybe the weaknesses also, like, knock people down like they do in Persona, and then you could do something, I don't know.
All I ask of the Pokemon, I know this isn't going to happen for like another 20 years when they've completely ran out of content and the sales actually start going
when
down.
They run out of two polar opposite things to name their games.
Yes.
Yeah, I know it's not going to happen until the moment they run out of two polar opposites, but all I ask for is a real open world Pokemon game. That's all I ask
agree.
for, a real one.
Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Pokemon Edition.
I'm not talking about Sword and Shield where you have, I'm not talking about Sword and Shield where you have one section of.
I'm not talking about the wild area.
I'm talking about. I'm talking about a Breath of the Wild. I'm talking about Breath of the Wild size open world Pokemon game that is actually good and they've put effort into it and not. Do I need to mention the trees?
Okay, like, I agree. Oh, yeah, I definitely agree. And I feel like if, along with this whole new open world thing, it would give them so much opportunity to, one, wait a few years to make the game, and then also include more in-depth combat.
What with Breath of the Wild 2? That game isn't even coming out until next year.
Exactly, and, like, you could have it to where...
At least probably, we don't know the status of the game. It could be coming out in 2021.
You don't even have to include all the Pokemon. You could include like Gen 1 if I care, as long as they control, like, maybe do something unique with them. That's all I care. Just have it fun.
Like Pokemon Tournament or like the Pokemon Rumble Arena series. The spin-offs are fun.
The spin-offs, I mean, I haven't played many of the spin-offs. I think I played like Rumble or whatever, but like even that was pretty fun.
Pokemon Dungeons. Why do you think so many people love those games?
Exactly. I just want more new stuff. Like Pokemon Dungeons, I think it definitely did something that I wanted. It did something new. If I remember.
I personally don't really like the gameplay in Dungeons. That's just personal preference. Right. But I can see why so many people love it.
I enjoyed it.
It's because it's Pokemon, but it actually did something new.
It's like, you're the Pokemon now, because yes, and it's fun.
And like, honestly, if they could take time, take 2 or 3 years to specialize all the Pokemons and animations for attacks like the anime, that's all you need to make the game fucking amazing.
And why don't, you could add, if you just kept...
All I ask is I'll go after you.
Okay,
Sorry.
I was just going to say, again, with the whole Pokemon open world idea, what you can do is that you could just, add on to the game over years and just be like, all right, here we go. We just made it. It would work good Because it wouldn't exactly be a live game, but it would
Oh my
also
God,
kind of
dude.
would be. It would be
Dude.
updated, and it would have more stuff, and it'd be good.
They got to rip off the rip off of their content.
Exactly.
They got to go the Genshin Impact route.
I mean, you're not ripping off.
All I ask,
Let's rip off Breath of the Wild and Genshin Impact. You got to gamble for Charizard now. Let's see how many people. Oh no, we didn't make any money.
I
off
was
that.
like, what I was gonna say is, all I ask is that they don't try to squeeze a Pokemon game out every year that's like half-hearted and just
Oh my God,
isn't
you guys
that
just reminded
great.
me that.
And they
You guys-
and they spend it's not and they spend this. Well, I just give me a second, and it says putting out a half-hearted Pokemon game every year. They take a solid 3 to 5 years, which I will happily wait that long for a genuinely good, high-quality 10 out of 10 Pokemon game. I will happily wait 5 years for a 10 out of 10
I will
Pokemon game
too.
than a year for a 5 out of 10 Pokemon game.
I would wait 10 years
You
for
guys
it.
just
I would wait
reminded me that
15
Pokemon Unite is a
years
thing.
for it. I would wait however long it would take just to get a Pokemon
If I can get a
game
Breath of the
like that.
Wild,
Dude, Breath of the Wild was in the making since the Wii U era.
Exactly.
They took
You
their
gotta
time
take
with
time
that game,
with
and it
games.
turned out beautiful.
I would
Worthy
happily
of Game of
wait
the Year.
5 years. I'll wait 6 or 7 for a Breath of the Wild quality Pokemon game. I will happily wait that long.
And like Team Fortress
And
2.
it's like I said, make unique animations for every single Pokemon, and that's one of the only things you need to make the game amazing.
And maybe
give them
spice up the
anime
combat.
quality, like imagine Greninja's animations, but they're like they are in the anime.
That'd be good. Like,
Because the anime's fights look phenomenal.
I haven't watched much of the anime, so like I don't really know for sure. But like,
All you have to do is watch like some of the fight scenes, and they're already way better than the shit show you see in the games.
it would also
If you
be
make them anime quality, then that's one of the few that is one of the big things you need in order to make the Pokemon game.
You know what'd be
beautiful.
interesting though? Like if they started the Pokemon games on a different route. Instead of you starting as a kid, you started as like a older adult or whatever, and you had to find yourself maybe in this open world
I
environment.
used to be a trainer like you
Yeah.
until I took an ember to the knee.
And you're starting to like use these Pokemon to defend yourself. Make something new of the Pokemon idea.
You know what I want that I know they will never do?
What?
Put us on the villain side.
I would love that. I would love to have a villain
Put us
type
on the
Pokemon
villain
game.
side and show us a protagonist we have to constantly attempt to best.
That would be good. That would be fun. And it would be great because then it would bring a challenge to the game. Make it like the hardest Pokemon game that you could ever play.
Yeah, like where your rival is always unbeatable until the very summit in the Pokemon League.
That would be great to have. And I don't know. I feel like the Pokemon idea could just use so much more
That
things to
way,
spice
like-
it up.
That way it becomes so much more satisfying when you're like, yeah, you're the champion, I just kicked your ass.
That would have been great.
After losing to them constantly over and over and over again.
Yeah, like, I don't know what it is about, or I mean, I know what it is, but like, I just need something in the Pokemon games to be spiced up, and I need something like the main formula.
Yeah.
Let's mess with it. Let's do something new with it, and that's what I need. Mega Evolutions are cool, but like Gigamaxes are a cool idea, but we need something that actually messes with the formula of the game.
And you know one thing they never capitalized on outside of Greninja?
What?
Bond Mega Evolutions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm
Because
pretty
like Ash and Greninja's connection was so strong they could Mega Evolve without a stone.
that'd be
Like
cool.
why didn't you capitalize on this?
I don't know. There's so many things. The Pokemon idea. It makes me like. I
You
think
could have done it with Sword and Shield and like Mega Gigantamax, dude.
like, have you seen the Pokemon like fan games that have been trying to be made? It's just
Pokemon Black and
okay. No. Okay, no.
Blue.
We're ending it. I'm just kidding. I mean,
Immediately brings up the worst one.
immediately. I'm sure. like, I don't know. It's just there's no Pokemon games haven't changed, and eventually they got to, because I don't feel like it's Assassin's Creed. It is Assassin's Creed. It's the same thing again and again. You're getting it's now. I think Watch Dogs is going down the same path, which is sad because Watch Dogs 2 was actually a fun game. Like Watch Dogs 1 was a great game. Watch Dogs 2 did some things that were new with it. But like if you make something with your sequel of a game, you have to spice up your formula for something. And that's just not what many games have been doing. Not even just Pokemon, just any game company like Halo.
The GTA game. Their advantage is that they take so long to make a game.
Oh yeah.
That by the time a new one comes out, no matter what they do, it's gonna be a newly updated game everyone's gonna want to play.
Oh yeah, like you remember like GTA 5's whole gimmick was that you could switch between multiple characters now? That is so game changing. That was a brilliant idea. That changed the game completely, and that was great. Red Dead Redemption 2 was so drastically different from the first, like oh yeah, it was like so drastically different from the first Red Dead Redemption in so many ways, because it changed the core formula of the game. It made it like Red Dead Redemption 2 is more about like you have survival, you have to keep in mind your food and stuff. And like at first I thought it was annoying, but like it actually
you require oxygen.
Okay, Metal Gear is a different story because it doesn't work like that. You gotta do play testing. With Red Dead Redemption 2,
you gotta do play testing.
Yeah, I know, right? Like you gotta do like in Red Dead Redemption 2, it works because you're in a desert. You're in the desert with all these animals and stuff, and it feels rewarding whenever you kill something and then you like harvest it for whatever you need. I don't know, there's just some reward to it, and it still has the funny stuff of a Rockstar game. Like I could take a lasso and just start dragging a person across miles, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, and it's still as vulgar as a Rockstar game. It's still as vulgar as
it's
GTA
still a Rockstar game, and they still just spiced up the formula, and that's all they needed to do. That's all you need to do to make your game interesting, really. Like, holy crap.
Am I back?
Yes, you're back.
Yes, you're back.
Well, like...
Am I back?
Yes, you are.
Hello?
Yes, you're back.
I don't know why, but my internet decided to take now and start imploding.
But we were talking about how games could use something, the spiced up formula, like the core formula of a game could like just change something. Like the Assassin's Creed games they've always been the same for a while now, like stuff like that, and that's the issue that Pokemon is currently having. And
New one's pretty rough, not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, like a Watch Dogs Legion, like I feel like they tried, but they failed miserably because they didn't hold up to the gimmick of the game.
I'm pretty sure it's because they didn't. I don't know. I know little nothing, but the little I do know about Watch Dogs Legion is their main focus. They barely put any effort into.
Oh yeah, like you could do anything as any character. I'm like, come on, you could have done something really cool with that. I would love to switch between characters in a mission and just finish something. And I don't. Like, when I'm only one character, I just feel like I can do everything, and the missions don't feel very hard because I don't need to switch characters if I'm only the same character. I mean...
Like, make the older characters slower. Make the grandma slow.
Yes,
like a grandma should be.
Add challenge to your video game. like, what was it? I don't remember. Like... In Assassin's Creed Black Flag, that Assassin's Creed game changed completely. It was completely different from the other Assassin's Creed games in that fact that you can use a pirate ship now. There was so many different things about that game that were different from other Assassin's Creeds, like flintlocks and all this stuff, because of the time period that it took place in. And it worked well because it was a different game. It was actually a different game and not just the same game again. I'm sorry, I'm going red. I'm sorry, I ran out on breath. Oh, God. Anything you want to add?
Like, and in, like, some game, the repetitive formula is all right.
Mhm.
Like you see, like Ace Attorney.
Mhm.
Ace Attorney, the formula works because of how the game is structured. It's a
Mhm.
mystery game.
Right.
Like the game isn't the game mechanics; it's figuring out who done it.
Exactly. And
But there's also games of a similar type where it doesn't work. Case in point, Danganronpa. It doesn't work because they have such a strict repetitive formula that it doesn't work. It just becomes predictable.
that's fair. I mean, I never completed any of the Danganronpas
Yeah.
because
Essentially what it is in the first chapter, a mysterious character will die.
so
In the third, if I remember correctly, the third chapter is always a double murder. The fourth chapter, the muscly character
back again.
dies, like the big buff
Oh, you're
muscly
back.
character will die.
Are we
then
talking
the
about
fifth-
Danganronpa?
we're talking about how
We're
a
talking
formula
about how-
works and like how it doesn't.
Yeah, like it works in Ace Attorney because it's the mystery element that is the game. It's
We're talking-
okay for the game to be repetitive
Also-
because that isn't the main stay point.
Hmm.
Whereas in Danganronpa,
I'm
it
just
doesn't
saying
work
now-
because the gameplay and the mystery
Okay.
don't hold up because of how predictable it gets.
What are you saying, Brad? Really quick.
I'm just saying now, if my internet keeps being this bad, I'm gonna just call tonight.
All right.
I'll give it about 5 minutes, and if it's not at least better in 5 minutes, then I'm just gonna give up and go to bed.
But like, I know for like, yeah, I definitely agree. Like, some games can stick to a formula and it just works well. Just like,
Yeah, like even in Dangan, there are some other small intricacies that are the exact same throughout all the games. A musician always dies. Someone with musical talent always dies.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Who's
In the
music
first game it was
talent in the
Saika.
first
In the
game?
second game it was Ibuki, and in the third game it was Kaede.
Huh.
Sorry for the huge fucking spoilers, but piss off. No one's watching this anyway.
I mean, like, I don't know. There's, yeah, definitely, like, I feel like a lot of games that focus solely on gameplay, not like narrative type games can
Yeah.
usually get away with just sticking with the same
Yeah,
deal.
and that's why Ace Attorney works. That's why Ace Attorney works. It's a narrative game.
Yeah. And because narrative games have to be different. So you
But
like
Danganronpa's narrative is very bad.
and like
And the gameplay just doesn't hold up with a terrible narrative. The characters are amazing, but nothing else is.
like
Except for UDG. Because that's the spin-off game that breaks the formula and it's good.
like-
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, I'm like, you know, the Halo games, just
Oh goodness, we're getting
Yeah.
into first-person
goodness.
shooters.
yes.
Easy segue, boys.
The Halo games are there. I mean,
Yeah, they're there.
they're there. That's about.
Please,
that's
this is our last attempt to make money.
I feel like that's how I could describe most of the games that we're talking about right now. Is that they're games that are always there. There's always a new one every year. There's always it's always there. There's always a Halo. There's always a
Please, this is our
Pokemon.
last attempt to make money. Buy it, please.
I mean, Halo Infinite. It seems like a rocky road. Like they're trying. It seems like they're going to do for a live service, but like I don't know. From the sounds of it, this live service
Dude.
doesn't seem that good. And Avengers.
I think the only let's talk about some games that had a very rough launch. Battlefront 2 and Avengers.
Oh boy.
Well, Battlefront 2 got better. Avengers is still looking pretty rough.
Avengers.
Well, yeah, and
But
I'm
to
saying
be- To
because
be fair,
let me
to be fair,
after
the
you're done
Avengers
making your point, I want to
still
change topics again because I just thought of something good.
Okay. Well, here, Brad, go.
good. I will try. I was just saying, Battlefront 2 got better with time, and Avengers. To give Avengers some credit, it hasn't been that long since it came out in COVID, but it's looking pretty rough so far.
It's too long for a
and
live
it's like,
game.
I commend the devs for trying to put quality over like rushed content, But at the same time, come on.
Yeah, like even my dad now who loved the
There
game.
is no content in the game.
Exactly. Even my dad who loved the game now was like, everyone's just like, we've hit a point in the live game where if you're in a live game and you start off somewhere, there's usually going to be like a progression wall, and that's where Avengers is. And that progression wall hasn't changed, and it's been way too long for that to change. Like you need to change that now.
So even like Genshin Impact doesn't have a progression wall. There's always something productive you can do.
In Avengers, you could only you could level up your character, and then you could get new costumes.
You can level up your characters and get better gear.
That's about it.
Until you hit the max.
And they still have it, and they don't really leave much more room to do anything else.
Yeah.
All right, what did you want to change topics
Honestly, and you know what the worst part is?
What?
Right now, the big rumor is that Kate Bishop is supposed to come out in 2021.
Oh, yikes.
Just return the game.
And like they're basically thinking like basically their only hope to make Avengers good again is relaunching it on the PS5, re-releasing it.
I mean,
and then just automatically updating the PS4 version.
I don't know. I mean, they just really need to do something with that game. Anyways, you said you were going to go with a different topic. I was wondering.
I had a good one.
Okay.
People dropping games before they even have a chance to update or make up for their fault.
No Man's Sky, definitely.
No Man's Sky, Avengers, and Genshin Impact. I want to talk about all three of them.
All right.
Avengers, people are dropping the game, and I don't blame them. There's no content in the game. There's just nothing really going on right now. Right now, it's pretty much just a waste of storage space.
Pretty much.
But with games like No Man's Sky, it made sense people had dropped the game because it looked like it was going nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
But then after a while, the devs somehow brought it back from the brink, and now it's a more or less amazing game.
Oh yeah, definitely. No Man's Sky has definitely become something it's become a phenomenal thing. It's probably one of the best stories in gaming, in my opinion, that I've ever heard of, because you can tell.
Agree.
Yeah, it's a great story. Like, even if you don't like the game, you gotta give the developers a compliment, because they cared about their passion project.
They brought this game I deemed dead on they brought this game most people deemed as dead on impact from the brink and revived it as something beautiful.
They didn't take the money and run.
Yeah, they could have easily done that, because No Man's Sky was such an ambitious game that they made so many pre-order monies, but you know what they did?
So many pre-order monies.
The pre-order monies.
But
I like monies.
But they could have run, but they wanted to stay loyal to their thing, because I'm pretty sure they had a hard time. Their company flooded for a bit, so
that was a real thing.
Yeah, they struggled. So
it's also it's not easy to make your game better when you're getting death threats for how bad it was.
Oh yeah,
that doesn't really make it any better.
Monster Hero Soccer or fucking whoever does the fucking Smash Bros shit knows that well.
Okay, you know what I gotta say? I feel like what killed No Man's Sky. You know, I think I killed No Man's Sky is that what did No Man's Sky in is that people had too much expectations for a video game, because video games have limits.
You've also got to. I'm not saying
No Man's Sky was Breath of the Wild before Breath of the Wild.
Sean Murray's partially at fault because he didn't really do much to dissuade any of.
You told a nerd to go on stage to advertise your game. So what is he going to do? He's going to be like, you can do that.
Well, someone had to.
He was nervous.
I'm not saying it's all on him.
Yeah.
I'm just saying no matter what angle you look at, he has fault in it.
The idea of No Man's Sky is pretty ambitious itself. You got to think about it. It's a universe.
I'm not saying he had to go on stage and be like, "Hey guys, all this stuff you're saying this game is gonna have that we haven't said yet, it's not gonna be in it." I was just saying he should have worded it better to start with.
I agree.
I'm not saying that's entirely his fault, but it's like someone on that team or related to that team could have just like the moment it started, like people started saying stuff was going to be there in there that they never said. They could have done something like they didn't even have to like say who they were. They could have just said it like on Reddit or something. That's like, hey, they actually never said this was going to be a thing.
I would like them, or I mean, what I like about what they're doing with No Man's Sky is that they're living up to those promises that were at first empty. They're like all the sandworm thing in the first trailer.
Let's go.
Yeah, like third person, and then they're like, sandworms are finally added into the game. And then they're adding in everything that, like, they're going back and being like, what did we promise? We gotta add it in. And they, like, I have a feeling it's gonna get good. Like, they might hit a point where, like, oh, we can't do this, though. But, like, I don't know. There's still a next generation of consoles, and No Man's Sky and the next generation of consoles looks phenomenal, like, graphically, at least. And just, I don't know. It looks good. And I think I got a little bit off track too much with No Man's Sky, to be honest. But I mean, it's fine. But like Minecraft also like has the same thing. Like, I don't know. Minecraft's different though. Minecraft is not. I don't know. Minecraft didn't have a rocky launch, and people gave it a chance because. Okay, never mind. I don't know why I brought up Minecraft.
Yeah, like it's already the best-selling game of the year. We don't care about its launch.
So. I think the game that sorry, you can continue.
Yeah, going back to the original point, people dropping games before they give it a chance, because like Avengers, people were putting down the game before it was even out.
Oh yeah, people really wanted. I don't know why. Why did they want to hate on that game?
Yeah, it's a beta. Piss off.
It was a good. I mean. I feel like, unless you've done nothing but play Avengers for like 8 hours straight on the couch or something, like you're just gonna, like, why are you complaining?
Yeah, and like with circling to Genshin Impact, people had high hopes for the game, even though it was a Breath of the Wild clone, the first one, mind you, and people were pissed about it. But it's like, hey. Put it away. Just don't even bring us that. There are amazing games like Revengeance that don't even have a single clone.
And
I think a Breath of the Wild clone is warranted. And anyway, like we are literally, as of right now, pretty much 1 day away from the first major title update. For the first major update, I'm in the game, and people have already like dropped the game. It's like. The game just came out. Why are like you're not like I understand some things are janky, might not be to your liking, might be your first gacha experience. But if you're just dropping it because you think the game mechanics are bad, give the devs a chance to fix it. They said we're going to be getting a major update every 6 weeks,
which is a huge thing. Which is like
we have. And that's like, I want to talk about this now. Dates and times for updates. This is why Avengers is failing.
Because of COVID.
But we have no concrete date to look forward to for anything.
But I don't
we have no idea when content. We know content is going to come. We don't know when, so we don't care.
And like,
because we know Kate Bishop is coming. When the fuck is she coming? We know there's supposed to be a war table. When the fuck is it coming?
They better be getting us like they better be giving stuff in return for making it such a long wait. Like, why are you making us wait forever? I don't understand. Is it not finished?
Even if it's janky, the game is janky anyway. Release it.
I feel like they
patch
should
it afterwards, like you always have.
I feel like they should give a reason though. Like, why are you guys taking so long? They haven't given any clear reason.
And it's because it's been teasers upon teasers upon teasers for months now. People don't give a damn anymore.
Exactly. Like,
lost
I think
all their excitement.
Yeah, and I don't even care about Kate Bishop anymore.
We lost all of our hype when you delayed her in her release week.
They built up all this hype, but then but then all of a sudden it just vanished, and so it came crashing.
Like,
down.
even if Kate Bishop was completely busted on launch, you could have fixed her well.
At least
like,
people would
You
have had
fixed
something
1,000
to
bugs in one
play.
patch. I think you could have fixed a character in a few patches.
At the very least, people would have had something like new to do that would have captured their
Yeah, we
interest.
would have had content.
We
And that's what Avengers need, is content.
You know what's even weirder?
It needs some reason for players to look forward to. Something to make players want to go back to the game.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they could release like a new mission chain or whatever before Kate Bishop even. Like, you don't even have to release Kate Bishop. You have to just release like a new mission chain or something new to do, something interesting to do.
And honestly, you know what I think that they need to do right now is, rather than just release only Kate Bishop in the next update, release Kate and Hawkeye.
I feel
Give us double the content to do.
I feel like what the thing is, though, is that, like,
because since Hawkeye was teased in the very beginning, we know that he's definitely an undeveloped character.
Well, Kate
and Black
Bishop,
Panther was supposed to be the first one, so you could just swap out Hawkeye with Black Panther.
But the thing is, with, like, I feel like I agree to a point, because, like, Kate Bishop is going to lead into the Hawkeye storyline, because that's the point of it. That's what the whole trailer is about whenever you see her.
Yeah, and then have the character after that be Black Panther, like promised.
Like, I feel like that'd be a good idea. Like, have all these stories linked together, because in the current state of Avengers it's only the main story, and then guess what happens after the initiative? Nothing. Nothing happened. There's no cliffhanger. It just kind of fades away.
Problem. We don't even know when Kate Bishop is coming anymore. We don't know when these characters are coming. We don't have anything to be hyped for.
Yeah, if your live game has nothing
you promised
coming up.
These three characters. Now, like, what do we do with this information? You haven't told us when they're going to come out. You haven't given us shit on them since, like, 2 months ago.
And, like, the thing is like, it's a live game. It's not going to stay alive for long.
Yeah, the devs are staying in touch with the community. They're staying in close contact with the community, but that's not enough at this point.
You got to do something with it. You got to do something with this knowledge.
Content.
Like, man, I don't know. Like,
and,
I
like,
definitely...
Sure. Like, free-to-play games, content walls are perfectly fine. It's part of the experience. You didn't pay for this game. A content wall is perfectly fine. It'll come in the next update. But when you get a $60 game and you have to wait more than, like, 3-4 months for the first major update,
yeah, that's ridiculous.
You get robbed.
I do, and honestly, it feels like the game should have been $30 at launch or something. Okay, sorry, Brett.
I just have a kind of transition that might, I don't know, maybe a new topic idea.
That's fair.
If we're talking about, like, you know, games with, like, major updates and all that, do you think we should talk about, like, early access games?
We should definitely talk about early access games. I agree. Like,
yeah.
Because
or games in beta. Early access / betas.
I want to give one of my, like, two shout outs for two of my favorite early access games
I know
that
what
I
you're going
played.
to say,
It
but
didn't
yeah.
disappoint me. Okay, which two do you think I'm going to say?
Subnautica.
I know. Yeah, that's one. I knew you were going to pick that, but do you know the second one?
I don't know if I know the second one. Probably...
Phasmophobia?
No, I've never played Hades.
What is Phasmophobia? Hades? Oh, yeah, I should have said Hades. I didn't even know Hades was like early access.
Basically ghost hunting the game.
I want to give a shout out to those two ones because both of those games released early access. It's like each one was about $20 when they first announced. It's like they weren't that great at launch. It's like they were good, but they weren't that great. But it's like, here's what I appreciate about them. They gave a timeline and they followed it. And not only that, but each update it got consistently better.
Oh yeah,
it's like they gave a roadmap, they stuck to it, and they didn't change. They stuck to a roadmap, and they laid it out, stuck to it, and they laid out what content was going to be there, and it was big updates every time. So it's like you have this roadmap. It's like, oh, I just have to wait a month and then I'll get all this new stuff, and it's like each time they consistently.
Yes.
Both games they consistently updated it. They didn't like go back on what they said really, and each time people got what they wanted in the updates. Like
that is what games need. Okay.
Yeah, like,
Speaking of you can keep going. I interrupted you.
Yeah, keep going.
There wasn't like a point in either of them where people were like, man, they said they were going to do this a month ago, like 2 months ago, and we're still waiting. Or it's like, oh man, they've kind of just stopped changing stuff. It's like they didn't. Another thing is like they didn't stop trying to make the game better. That's another thing about early access games. You buy it in the expectation that with each update, it's going to get better and better. And that's what that's one of the shout outs those two games. Like with each update I got more content that I wanted, more bugs were fixed, more like everything just felt better. It's like those are the things you got to do if you're going to make an early access game. You got to lay out a roadmap, you got to stick to it, and with each update, the game has to get better, because if the game doesn't get better, then there was no point in making it early access to begin with.
I agree.
And like with Avengers, we were promised a roadmap at the next War Table stream. We don't know when the next War Table is. We don't even know when we're getting a roadmap.
Because
and Kate Bishop was pushed back. We don't even know when the DLCs are going to come out now, because originally our theorized roadmap was Kate Bishop last month, Hawkeye this month, Black Panther next month. But now that it's all been pushed back, we have no clue.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's like to be fair, to be fair to Avengers, COVID and all that stuff is making things difficult. But they could at least they need to at least give a rough roadmap. Like at least give us an idea.
And I'll give them the fact that Avengers had a really rough development, but I don't think we should be waiting this long for content. Like even if it's busted, like even if the character is busted, just releasing missions is nice.
It's like what you said. It's not even that we're waiting this long. It's like we're waiting this long without knowing anything that makes it that much worse.
Like, think about this. Like Genshin Impact is like every 6 weeks, we're getting an entirely new region.
What game hasn't
every 6 weeks? This is a free-to-play game. We have a specific roadmap. We know what characters we're getting, when we're getting them, and we have a whole new region with a ton of new stuff to explore for 6 weeks until the next one comes out. Like, there's so much to do in that game. After the updates come, you can't fathom it.
It's like they're breaking the entire point of what early access games were meant to be. People don't buy an early access game expecting to get all the content at once. When you buy an early access game, you put your trust in you put your trust into the developers that they will give you consistent updates that make the game better. You give them that trust by paying for the money, and when they do it, it is very rewarding because you've been there for the journey. You've experienced update after update, and they feel like I've experienced it firsthand. When you get an early access game and you're there for every update, and the developers consistently make it better, it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling to see that game grow. But when developers just are like, hey, it's early access, they take your money and they're like, hi, we're never going to update this again. You're just like, well, you're just a bunch of scumbags, aren't
Can I talk about that more? I want to definitely talk about that more, on the fact that early access is being an excuse to release an unstable game is ridiculous.
That's the problem. It's not always you got two groups of developers. Developers who are like, hey, we want to get you can have developers that are like, hey, we're doing this for early access because we want players' input, or it's like, hey, we just don't have the money to make this a full-on game. But then you have the developers that are like, hey, we have all the money we could possibly need, but we just want your money now.
Yeah, early access is sometimes used as an excuse just to hey, we're going to need this game. You want us to buy it right, or you want to buy it right now, and we're going to release it in the most unstable way, and we're going to add nothing besides a fixed game at launch.
There are good excuses for early access games. You can have a small development team where it's like, we just don't have the money to make this full game. So it's like, if you like this idea, if you're on board, please give us your support, and we will do our best to make this a real game like we've pictured. Or you can have developers that are like, but it's like I want to say one more thing.
Right.
Or it's like you can have developers like they have the money for they have lots of money. They could make a full-on game, but it's like, here's what I appreciate. They release it in early access, even though they have all the money to make the game, because they want player input. They want to take players' input
Right.
and make a better game from it, and I really appreciate that.
Oh yeah, like
And that's why betas exist. That's why betas exist, for player input and server testing.
Like Game Beast is one of those games that was in early access for a while, but if you go play Game Beast or whatever, you'll notice that the game has it seems like a small game, but that game has really everybody loved the idea of Game Beast, and as people watched the game over time evolve, people suggested stuff, and the game eventually became what it is today, and it was great. And whenever you take these whenever you use early access ideas Teardown. Oh, I'm pretty sure. Have you guys heard of Teardown? Yeah, I imagine you guys have heard of it.
I've seen lots of gameplay of
Okay,
Teardown.
Teardown is a game that started off or whatever. It was, I think they didn't really release it. It's currently started in early access, and holy crap, they've done they've listened to the people, and the game looks so fun. Too bad my computer can't run it, but it looks so fun of a game. And basically what the game is about is people really like the idea of destruction physics. So they made the entire game destructible. Every little
need a
block.
god-tier computer for it.
You need a god tier computer to ever run that game. But
it's when you do, it's really fun.
It looks super fun, the idea of it, and people suggested ideas hey, why don't we do a story or whatever? And the story is fun. People thought, people originally thought that they're going to do the sandbox the entire time, but people realized that they ended up liking the story a lot more because the story is about puzzles, and it was fun, and it turned out a great game.
It's just from my personal experience, when I see an early access game, I only tend to consider or trust putting my hard-earned money on the line for developers that are either A, they're small developers, or B, they've put out really good content before, because I don't want to throw shade at Avengers, but it's I don't want to put $60 out for an early access game. It's you guys aren't exactly known for the greatest of games, and you already have plenty of money.
Crystal Dynamics is I don't know. Wait. Yeah. I don't know. How much?
Well, it's Square Enix. It's
Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics, but Crystal Dynamics is the ones who are working on the game. So,
yeah.
I don't really know, past Crystal Dynamic games, I'm pretty sure have been great games. And just, they haven't been, masterpieces. They're just games that you remember existing. Yeah, they've been all right.
Well, yeah,
the only reason this game is still Avengers is still around is because Avengers.
It's because it got backlash. That's why it's still around.
The IP.
It's because people are still desperately waiting for their favorite superhero to be added.
I think the game still stuck around.
Rider.
The game still stuck around because people were mad at the game, and people still mad at the game. They haven't really stopped being mad at the game.
The only people
I'm waiting for that Battlefront 2 redemption story.
The
only difference being they don't abandon the game as soon as they have their name back.
Battlefront 2 was really, really something. I don't even who.
I can't really share the Avengers story because I was one of the people who didn't buy the game at launch because at the time I didn't have the console playable for it, but I got it after the midway point when it was not a complete loot box mess, and so I didn't really get to experience the bad. I've only really been able to experience the good side of Battlefront 2.
I've also experienced mostly. Actually, I don't know. I think I've experienced a bit of both. And
yeah, I was around during the loot box era, and personally, I was fine with it because at that point, I gacha games were my lifeline.
Right.
So it's I don't really mind this. I don't really mind it much, but it's I can see why other people who are just playing this game to be a first-person shooter are pissed about it.
And Battlefront 2 definitely went for a good redemption, and I feel like.
Until EA abandoned it as soon as
But
they
what
got
I
the good
don't
name
want to
back.
happen is I don't want games to have to go for redemptions constantly. I want games to release at a decent, like, just have it be.
Release game complete.
Like, Cyberpunk is I'm okay with the delays because I feel like Cyberpunk has some heart and soul put into it, and it'll be a good game.
I feel like
Cyberpunk can only go two ways. Either the overhype kills it,
Oh yeah.
or it's a game that matches the hype.
I feel like Cyberpunk has begun to go down the No
It
Man's
is-
Sky route where
Yeah,
people are hyping
yeah,
it.
it might. Cyberpunk might go down the No Man's Sky route.
It will either be a beautiful masterpiece or a horrible failure.
I feel like it depends on the
it's going
person.
yeah, I feel like it's going down the No Man's Sky route where it's like they're making promises they can't exactly keep at launch, and people are hyping it up more than what was said, and it just set up for an implosion.
I'm not really sure what's going to happen with Cyberpunk, but like if it's just a fun game in general, I'll be okay.
I feel like you can all go down two routes. It's a masterpiece like everyone thought it would be, or it's a complete failure and everybody immediately jumps to death threats.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're already getting death
honestly,
threats.
like Cyberpunk being delayed saved Avengers' life.
Oh yeah. Like,
the Avengers
because otherwise nothing they did could have saved Avengers.
The only thing that killed Avengers was Avengers itself.
Even if there wasn't Cyberpunk, Avengers took themselves out.
I feel Avengers did okay. It had some relevance.
I think as long as their next update is good, they could win players back. Like I said, if they release Kate Bishop and Hawkeye at the same time, so we just get a shitload of content at once, then I think it'll bring people back. And we need a roadmap. We need dates.
We need a proper roadmap instead of just like estimation and delays. Like, Cyberpunk is a full game, and that's why I could understand its delays. I'm okay with a full polished game.
They're going to be releasing a fully finished product.
Like, I don't care because it's
the only thing I see being added to Cyberpunk, from what little I know,
is multiplayer.
Is optional cosmetics and DLC stories.
I heard about multiplayer possibly, which would have been phenomenal, honestly, because I would love to play that game with a friend.
That would give me a reason to buy Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk seems like I don't really know the marketing. I don't know.
Yeah. The marketing, at least from what my point of view, has been so weird that I'm not sure what to think of it.
Yeah, like I don't know what I didn't know what Cyberpunk was for a while.
It's like to this.
And that's
like,
another reason Avengers failed. It's marketing.
I'm not going to pretend like I've spent a lot of time looking into Cyberpunk, but just from my point of view, it's like I have no idea what to expect if I actually bought the game. Also,
yeah, I gotta agree with Gag because Avengers marketed it as something that was completely different. I don't think many people expected it to be like a what I don't even know what to call it as, like a gacha kind of. Is it not really a gacha though?
It's not really a gacha game. It's just a grindy mess.
It's mostly nobody really was expecting a grindy mess. A lot of people were expecting Spider-Man, to be honest, which is
I think people were expecting Spider-Man level I think people were expecting Spider-Man multiplayer.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I can't.
And with the promise of Spider-Man being added, like I think that only furthered it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like,
because we know PS4 users are gonna be getting Spider-Man, and originally the release date was gonna be March of next year, but now we have no fucking clue.
I mean, doesn't Miles Morales release like within the week now? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, Miles Morales comes out extremely soon.
Don't the PS5 and Xbox come out on Friday?
I think the Xbox came out today.
Did it?
I think it did. I saw on YouTube notifications that just said, "Hey, Xbox is out now," and I'm like, "Oh,
I didn't even notice if it did."
Personally, I couldn't really care less.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm not buying them right now.
Right.
I'm not going to be able to get Miles Morales anyway because I'm going to be like blowing my Christmas funds on a new computer.
Right. I mean, it's worth it.
Provided I can even find one.
I mean, it's just like I don't know. Like I'm looking forward to Miles Morales because I know that my dad's gonna get it because my dad's a huge Marvel fan, of course. So
Yeah,
like,
and I'm definitely gonna get it once I have the money.
and like it looks like a good game, and honestly, I miss more single player experiences that are just polished right off the bat and just like this is fun.
Yeah, like Spider-Man. The only thing they added was DLC stories. That's it.
And the DLC stories were fine.
You don't
I liked
need
them
to enjoy the game.
I mean, the DLC stories could have.
And like, you know what I think Avengers is gonna do? Is it's gonna take the Payday 2 route with the promise of free a DLC, only to realize, oh shit, we need paid DLC. Sorry, we're breaking the promise.
What did you say, Brett?
Real quick, I've got about 10 minutes left before I gotta head out.
That's fine.
All right. Well, then I think in about 10 minutes we should probably wrap this up.
Let's see how long. We've been going on for
a very long time. This has been
going for like an hour and a half.
Oh, yeah, this has been a great stream.
Yeah, it's like I got about 10 minutes before I head out, so it's like unless you guys want to keep going after that, I wonder if we could wrap it up soon.
Yeah, I'd imagine at that point we should wrap it up.
I mean, we're about to in 10 minutes we'll hit the 1 hour and 45 minute mark, which is that's pretty good for this. Honestly.
Yeah, almost 2 hours.
Which, okay, what I gotta say definitely though is that I feel like you can do a live game, but you gotta do it right. You gotta you gotta know what you're doing, because the concept of a live service game is a really good concept for companies. They think, oh, a game that's constantly being updated with new content, that's great. You can't release it.
Yeah, and that's the difference. Like Genshin Impact and Avengers are both live service games. They're both being constantly updated. But the reason why Genshin Impact is it has so much of a bigger player base, we know what's coming. We know what to be hyped for. We know that these fixes we want are coming. With Avengers, everything is a mystery.
That is true. And also the live game, you have to start off with something. And since you're a live game, you have to keep a steady flow of game just to be there for a while. You just have No Man's Sky ain't exactly a live game. I don't consider it a live game simply because it doesn't stay. It's not focusing solely on staying alive with updates. It could stand on its own just with the updates it has now as a game.
Yeah, I think No Man's Sky is I guess it could be compared to Minecraft.
Yeah,
it's like Minecraft for people who think Minecraft is too old.
I compare it like Minecraft in the way that it's updated. Minecraft is a completed game. It's always been it's been a completed game since its first launch.
Minecraft has always been a completed game. Everything else has basically been free DLC.
Exactly.
Except for Piglins. Fuck Piglins. I want my zombie pigmen back. Pissed off.
Same. but
they don't fix what isn't broken.
But with live games, you gotta start actual true live games. You gotta keep going. You gotta keep monthly updates or whatever. And Avengers didn't do any of that, so now they're just stalled on the ground.
And Genshin Impact, granted, it doesn't have monthly updates, but we know when we're getting them because every 6 weeks. That's not monthly, but we know when it's coming.
Exactly.
That's the deal breaker. That's the pinpoint. We know when.
And it's perfectly fine to have a game that's completely finished and you having updates to look forward to, because that's perfectly fine. I'm looking forward to the Minecraft cave update. I'm looking forward to whatever No Man's Sky has next to offer.
Or I'm just gonna round it to Dokkan Battle here. It's been going on for 5 years now, almost 6.
Damn.
We know what's even though there's no roadmap or whatever, we can accurately guess or know what's coming next.
Well, yeah, because the game's been out for a while. In Avengers, we don't know what's going to come out because we haven't gotten an update yet.
Or we know what would be cool and what we want, and eventually we'll get it.
I really just, I definitely agree. I don't know. I just lost my train of thought, to be honest.
What live service games need is communication to when content is coming.
I agree.
That's the biggest thing.
I agree.
People need to know when something is coming and why they should be hyped.
Because
why
live
should
games,
why should they keep playing the game?
Because
How
live,
will they make the game
Like with
better?
Avengers,
yeah,
people started playing the game again because Kate Bishop was releasing within the month. They got to power up their characters to be on par with the new stuff.
Mhm.
Now that Kate Bishop is gone, we don't know when she's coming. There's no reason to play the game anymore.
live
People need to
games.
know how the game will be made better with each update, and
Or like,
they need to know what
or
will
like I'm gonna bring
Yeah.
it to Smash Bros. To Smash Bros.
Oh, definitely.
Like when they
Smash is
announce a
perfect.
DLC, like with DLC, usually nowadays it's either on the same day or within the month.
Smash is
Unlike with Joker, where the release was months later.
Smash is an
But
I would categorize
but
Smash.
usually nowadays it's within the month or on the same day. People have a reason to be super hyped aside from holy shit, there's a new Smash Bros. Character.
I feel like, yeah, like I would categorize Smash in like one of the areas I was talking about, the Minecraft No Man's Sky area, where it's a solid
it's
game.
released as a finished game.
It's just
Like you could play Smash Ultimate with no DLC. And it would be just the same amazing game.
But the
it
thing
is.
with live games though is you're a community. You are the people, like just this whole community around the game is
the
what's
community
keeping it
is
alive.
the reason the game is still thriving.
Yes, this is what you have to do with live games, and with Avengers.
Like gacha games like Genshin Impact can't survive without a community that spends
definitely.
money on it.
Because that's what
That's
live.
why gacha games work, because people will spend money on it. They'll stay dedicated to it.
Oh yeah, live games
With
need a community.
Avengers, even with the marketplace, that's their one source of income. Because there's no content, no one's buying any of the currency. No one's buying any of the costumes.
Exactly. Like, I feel like a lot of, like, after a while, live games, like, they really, like, I don't know what it is about it. I'm losing my train of thought again. I'm trying to get back on road. Live games, I don't know. Live games just need to, like, if you can keep a steady flow, and you can keep a good content, and then by the end of your steady flow, like even by the end of the game's life cycle, you have a good amount of content for it to be a finished game, you've done a good job as a live game. Like, what's a finished live game that I could go back to? I would say Team Fortress 2 almost, but like...
Well, Team Fortress 2 is pretty much finished.
Team Fortress 2 is finished, and it has a lot of
like
stuff.
The only updates you get now are like bug fixes.
Yeah, and like the
or like event updates.
Oh, I wouldn't. Okay, never mind. Let me scratch off TF2 because TF2 is a finished game even by launch. Yet again, fall under the No Man's Sky Minecraft example. But like, oh, what was it? I was trying to. There's some games. What game is a finished game that is a live game? Like,
oh boy, finished live game.
I can't really think of any.
Yeah, I can't think of any either.
Finished live game.
They exist, and I know about them. I just can't think of one off the top of my head right now. Like a live game that's like it's got its updates. It's just they're not going to do more of it. It's just
Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. I know not many of you can like relate to it.
right.
But it was getting like updates. It was getting its DLC updates, its story updates, its content updates. Like it was getting those. Consistently. But now it's all over.
Right.
We're not going to be getting any more until Xenoverse 3 or just never.
But it's still a complete game, right? Like
yeah. The only thing we're getting now is like some like free in-game events with more cosmetics to hold us over. That's
okay.
it.
Oh no, that reminds me. We've all played this. We all played Battlefront 2. That's a finished live game. What are we like?
Yeah. What the fuck? When did this get here?
What?
I'm looking at this icon that PS5 remote play.
I thought you were about to say like Persona 5 type stuff when you're going to go into Metaverse.
I can remote play my PS4 game on the PS5?
What?
Excuse me?
I can play it. If you have a PS4, you can remote play it up to the PS5, essentially rendering their like library limit useless.
So basically, if you have games on your PS4, you can play live.
If you have a game on your PS4 that isn't supported on the PS5, you can just remote play to it.
That's interesting.
Oh.
I mean, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, like it's a good idea, but like
Why? If most games are
right now
compatible,
it's just kind of
like it's just
All
an
right,
extra
I'm
thing to
gonna-
turn on. That just brings up your
I'm
power.
gonna.
Why would I
Okay.
turn on my PS4 to play it on the PS5?
Like I could just
Not
plug in my
not to cut
PS4.
off suddenly, but I'm gonna head out.
That's fair.
All right.
I mean,
I'm
we could.
tired.
I think we about wrapped up our conversation
I mean,
anyway.
Yeah, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed.
That's fair. We had a good stream. I'm very sure we
Yeah.
definitely did. We just hit the.
I think we pretty much
Fuck.
wrapped up our conversation anyway.
But I would like to
Yeah.
like just one last thing. I would like to go more like structures like this because this structure of podcast has worked out extremely well every time it's been like.
I mean, it wasn't really a structure. It was more like we brought up SpongeBob, and somehow we got its early access games.
We had a solid ground to jump off of, and we kept going. And if we did like run out, we still had more ground to jump off of again.
I just like how we went from what Patrick does in his daily life to completed live games,
remember
like
how we
without
got
even
there.
like topics to go off, without even topics to go off of. We just kind of got here.
I mean, we still like even if then we still kind of like jumped, like we fell off. Even if we fell off one, we still jumped. We had another one to jump off of in case one failed, and that worked for us.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, good night. I'm gonna go to bed.
Yes, good night, Brad.
Good night.
And like, so yeah, I'm pretty sure we could wrap it up because it is.
Yeah, we've pretty much wrapped up the topics.
Yeah, I think that was a successful stream, and I would like to do it again. I mean, we could even try to get it more publicized if you want. Like, I wouldn't mind that. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll ask. I've heard about it. I mean, I've heard
I
about
have
it.
some servers I could just throw it on.
Do it. Go ahead. I have a link.
Like they don't have any like self-advertisement restrictions, so it's like, well, hell, why not?
Go ahead, throw your thing on there and just say, hey, we stream at like 9:40 or 9:45 usually, and just be like, let's go.
Well, it should say I'm on the Twitch channel, because I saw in the Twitch thing it's like we stream like Fridays 9:30 to that.
Yeah, I'll change it to like 9:45 just to
Yeah,
like
there it is. Podcast on Sundays, usually 9:30 or so p.m. EST.
Should I change it to like 9:45 probably? Like 9:40.
Either that or like should we keep this like Monday schedule or like keep Fridays?
I don't know because the only
Or
reason
Sundays, like it says.
The only reason I did Fridays is because Fridays are like Fridays I had like we would go into the weekend and then you would just like we didn't have homework or whatever and we didn't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
So like I mean that's the only reason why I chose a Friday schedule, but we'll see. I'm pretty sure this has worked fine, but like there's still stuff I could do and like I still have stuff tomorrow. Of course. That's the only reason. I just did this for the sake of consistency.
I see.
I mean, to be honest, and I'm glad it happened. Like, even if we're a little bit off schedule, it still worked. But
Yeah, that's fair.
well, I guess I'll just like, I don't know. Like, I'll try to get us networked around, and I'll make sure that we have a proper time. I'll try to get back on properly. Like.
All right. That sounds good.
All right, well, stream is about, or here I'm going to end the stream soon, and I hope anybody who is watching the replay or wherever this is, I'm probably gonna
Who knows? Maybe you were watching live.
Who knows? If you're that one person, literally one person who's watching live, thanks for watching. Like, there's literally one person watching.
I just imagine one person. I'm in a crowd. Woo! Woo!
Don't worry. I feel like if you keep with the thing or whatever, you could go around servers. We could go advertising this stuff. Just spread the word. I mean, we need the I mean, obviously, if we do this more, we need to start like getting more. Like, I'll probably need to get a better microphone eventually.
Yeah, true.
I'll need to get.
Aside from just our phone microphones.
Oh, this is my. I mean, both of your guys' mic quality has been fine. Honestly, if you go back and watch, you would notice it's been fine. And
Oof,
like,
that's surprising.
yeah, it is surprising. I mean, but yeah, like we'll just go around. We're advertising this. We'll keep it. I'll change the thing to like 9:45 ish. That way, we just have we have some breathing room in case I'm late again. Anyways,
Yeah, it's fine.
Anyways, good night, stream people. It was nice talking. Yes. Do you have any last words?
Please don't kill me.
Perfect last words.